2 years ago, I did a nice little 15-day trip around Iceland, and I was always shocked at the craziness and the expanse of the canyons. You'll see it on camera, but in person it's even wilder because they just feel like you're totally surrounded and enveloped. So yeah, I went hiking with some friends, and I've kind of wanted to shoot here since. When I kind of heard the world that Tyler and the team had created, I was super pumped because it was described to the T exactly what I'd seen here. So it all worked out. We're here in Iceland, and we're about to get some really crazy footage.
That water's cold.
It kind of falls off of me, except for my boots. They're absolutely just staying in the boot.
There's water in the shoe?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Now, a long time ago, this stream didn't exist. A little further that way, there's a glacier, and so many years ago, horses would walk back and forth, creating what this is here, instinctively knowing that in the future, men would want to come and collect the fresh water and bring it home to their families. And so, pre-knowing that, as the horses did that, it created what you see here today.
No, I think it's, what was that? Was that a noise?
Okay.
And then you're turning and looking to see if you can see what's happening.
Ready for me?
And you want to go to infinity after he
Yeah, when he turns and we're pushing through, we'll go to infinity.
You guys want to do a rehearsal?
Let's shoot the rehearsal, yeah.
All right.
Okay, stand by. We're doing a rehearsal. Let's get the camera into position, please.
Many years ago, the original Icelandic men would come through here to collect the fresh glacial water. But it would take a lot of time, and it would be a long journey from some of their families, and so in order to make it back, they would carve out these caves here in the side of the mountains.
Sarcastic. You've been telling her some of the facts, right?
Yeah.
Those are real facts.
Yeah. Only to realize after all of the construction and hard work that they did, they realized it's actually colder inside the cave, and that's what you now see before you today.
Yeah, I just like head on way better for me.
Yeah, well, we've got two head-ons. The wide and the mid shot will be head-on.
Okay.
You have this?
Really interesting thing about the hills here in Iceland is that they're covered in this moss. Now, this moss takes a century to grow. That's 100 years. If you get caught ripping out the moss out of the ground or off of these rocks, the punishment is actually 4% of your paycheck that you earn has to go toward replenishing the moss on these rocks or these hills. Now, that actually carries over to your lineage. So if your son or grandson gets jobs, 4% of their checks get taken out too, until that century or 100 years is up, and the moss is replenished into what you see here today.
Right here. But yeah, if you do perform in this section, or when you do perform in this section, I think it's a mumbled, kind of scattered to yourself. A lot, kind of like what we did in Heathens during the walk there, just like that, that kind of doubtful, skeptical to yourself delivery. I think is really nice for this.
Yeah.
And
So like, cuts of Will Smith will be in this video too?
Yeah, cuts of you in a fire car.
Man.
You're the Will Smith in this video.
I'm the Will Smith in this video.
I decided to take a little hike through these cliffs in Iceland, and what's cool, I looked it up. Will Smith actually owns a house right through there, and I'm actually standing on his property now. We're probably going to actually shoot some of the video on his property. He was cool enough to let us do that, so that's kind of really what you see here today.
Ég byrja þarna einhver staður. Og hvað í það langt?
Bara út á endanum þar sem hann sandurinn endar.
Já.
Það sem þetta verður svona grýtt eftir.
Og þar stekk ég af. Eða var ég fara hratt eða hægt að baki?
Nei, bara svona hægt að vinstri megin og lappar til hans.
Í 8 myndavél.
Í 8 myndavél.
All right, and action!
So I think we're about to wrap on day one. This is probably, no, absolutely the first time we've ever been able to do a music video longer than one day. It takes a lot of the pressure off. It gives us time to make sure we have everything that we want, which is great. But on the other hand, it's a whole other day of being exhausted and wet and cold. So the end product, I think, hopefully will be worth it.
If you pull out the moss, the penalty is 4% of your paycheck goes to replenishing the moss, but since it takes a century to grow, that carries on to like your kids and grandkids, and
Yeah.
they also have to pay 4% of their paychecks until it's regrown.
Hello, everybody. Hey. How are you?
Hi.
My name's Tyler. This is Josh. We wanted to meet you guys and say hey. We think it's going to be, at least for our fan base, this video will be really important to establish kind of what the narrative of the record is going to be. So we're really excited about it. We're glad that you guys get to be a part of it with us and represent who they will be to us, which our fans are very important to us. So in turn, for at least this day, you guys are very important to us as well. But we just wanted to meet you guys and say what's up. So if you have any questions, don't ask us because we have no idea what's going on. So, cool. See ya.
See you out there.
See how? Yeah, Josh is your leader, so just follow him around, I guess.
Yeah.
We're starting this take with you facing this way. This is your run. This camera will be matching your speed perfectly and getting a really beautiful mid-shot and close-up. Same thing, where you turn over your left shoulder on jumpsuit
Left shoulder.
and begin sprinting. We'll go through the jumpsuit, cover me, the instrumental, 10 seconds, and then even the final jumpsuit, cover me.
So I'm running for a long time.
It's gonna be, I believe, a 19-second run. And that's a wrap. Was that a line read? Yeah, and that's a wrap.
We just finished shooting the music video for Jumpsuit in Iceland. It's almost midnight, I think, and it looks like it's 5 p.m. because we're in Iceland. And now we're gonna go home and then shoot another music video.
Hey Josh.
Yeah.
If this is the last time I talk to you, just know that you're my third favorite drummer.
Thank you. Means a lot.
He would be my favorite drummer, but he was only nominated for Drummer of the Year by Alternative Press. He didn't win it. Just nominated. Big disappointment.